These were the founding families who came to this area back in the 1800s and the early 1900s and helped make the place what it is. And I think it's important that we have a legacy that keeps them knowing that we have them, that somebody cares about you even after you're dead because of the contributions you may have made while you were living.
We have a lot of pioneers that helped develop the Grove, that really founded the Grove. Their bodies are down at that cemetery. And we thought, in honor for them, to keep that cemetery alive.
Back in the 80s, my mother's grave was robbed. After the grave robbery incident occurred, then all of the people in the Grove became more conscious of it, and they began coming down and watching and looking, and the main thing was hoping that it had not happened to their loved one's grave. This project to keep the old cemetery was started back in the 70s with Mrs. Helen Bentley, who has recently passed away. Keeping the cemetery historic is a very dear thing to me, and hopefully we can continue to work on it and keep it like that.
The first settlers were from the Bahamas, and besides it being a historic thing, it was the only cemetery that was used by blacks at that time.
My mother and father's over in the annex, and I have an aunt over in the annex, but I have my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, my paternal grandfather. I have two aunts. I have a brother and two cousins buried in that old cemetery. And my great grandmother was buried in the old cemetery, Matilda Johnson.
As it turns out now, I have family members who are buried in each one of those sections.
My uncle is buried there. My aunt is buried there. I have cousins that are buried there.
So much of our history is laying there in the cemetery because nobody ever thought to ask those people about what went on, like people say back in the olden days.
My generation is trying to save it, and I hope that my grandchildren and great-grandchildren generation will see the value of trying to save it. It's important for me to have something here. They're going to take away everything else, so why not leave the dead cemetery?
I think there will be enough of us left, and we're trying to pass the word on to the generation that comes after us. I hope they're going to be as strong-willed and as strong-minded as those of us in our generation are, that they will fight and let nothing happen to that cemetery. I think it's going to be all right. I just think that the people who live in the community will fight for it. And I will be a member of it if I'm still alive.